Luka Donic is just the latest example of softness in the NBA, okay? You remember when Kobe Bryant said the NBA stood for no bitches allowed? You remember when Kobe Bryant said that? Well, the NBA should be now the NBHA. The NBHA, the National Bitches and Hoes Association. Because that's what exactly today's NBA players are. Bitches and hoes. Good day, and welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it. So I thought I was done with making follow-up points to the softness of the NBA video that I made the other day, and I also made some follow-up points as well. But the NBA, with how soft it is today, it's the gift that just keeps on giving and keeps exposing how soft NBA players are today. The latest example of this is Luka Donic. Okay, so the Mavericks were playing somebody. I really don't care because I really don't watch that shit that has the NBA today. So the Mavericks were playing someone, and the fan hollered to Luka, "Hey, you better get on that treadmill and run," because Luka is not considered to be in tip-top shape. He's never in tip-top shape. Okay, so a poor man's version of Carmelo Anthony can just score, can't play defense, never in shape. Anyway, so a fan hollered, "Luka, get your ass on the treadmill. Get your ass on the treadmill." Luka heard that. Luka signaled, "Hey, get that fan out of here. I don't like what he said to me." And that is the softness of the NBA in a nutshell, okay? And I thought about this morning, okay? I thought about this morning, okay? It's probably going to get me in trouble, but I really don't care. Today's NBA players are nothing but rich, entitled hoes. That's right, I said it. Today's NBA players are soft, rich, entitled hoes. Because that's what they act like. Hoes. This fan said something about me. Throw him out. Soft, entitled hoes. That's all NBA players are today. You remember back, and this is why people keep slowly bringing it back to the past, okay? Okay? You remember when fans would say stuff to Michael Jordan? You know what Michael Jordan did? Michael Jordan would go out and drop 40. If a fan said something to Patrick Ewing will be calling for the ball down low every time. If fans said something to Shaq will be calling for the ball and score 60. Okay? If fans said dumb stuff to players, okay, the players would laugh at it and use it as motivation, okay? Or either they would use it jet fuel, okay? Okay? So there was a time when fans said stuff to players on the court. You just laughed, okay? I can remember when the Chicago Bulls were playing the Cleveland Cavaliers one year. And the game was in Cleveland. And there were some Cleveland fans that were heckling Will Purdue. And it must have been a woman, okay? Because the Cleveland fans were heckling Will Purdue. Then all of a sudden, because the game is stopped because of free throws are being shot, Will Purdue all of a sudden hollers, "Hey, did you pay a lot of the money for that hair weave?" Now, today's players can have fans thrown out instead of laughing at it, using it as jet fuel, or coming back at that fan. Okay? Instead of doing that, these spoiled and entitled hoes, sometimes some who are somehow referred to as NBA players, can now have fans thrown out. Because we don't like what that fan said. Spoiled, entitled hoes. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. Anybody out there tries to convince you that the NBA today, hey, it's great, must be smoking. They got to be smoking. Okay? And I said this in the softness of the NBA video the other day. I said, if the NBA today is so great, why are you, the audience who is watching this, why are you so much more gravitated to 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early part of the 2000s basketball? Okay? Why are so many fans gravitated towards that era? Now, I remember seeing a video on when the 1998 NBA Finals were over, okay? And the NBA on NBC were doing their season-ending outros. Hannah Storm talked about the Chicago Bulls, Doug Collins, Isaiah Thomas, Bob Costas. They all had their thoughts on the Chicago Bulls, the team of the 90s. And so, it just felt like that. Watching that video felt like two things, okay? Because I was looking down in the comments, okay? And I was reading the comments. And all the comments that I saw was the end of great NBA basketball. The end of an era of great NBA basketball. The end of the Bulls dynasty. Or whatnot. So, one, the NBA lockout was set to begin like a week later, okay? And it was just a finality. It was just a possible finality of great basketball of that era, okay? Okay? So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 38 million who watched Jordan's final game with Chicago in 1998, if I'm not mistaken. Now, in today's NBA, only that much. watch the NBA finals, okay? Like, no fundamentals. They have skills, but no fundamentals. No real work ethic. Everybody shooting threes. And Dominique Wilkins talked about all this. Okay. Dominique Wilkins on NBA Open Court. Ernie Johnson asked the question to all the players. He said, was there a time where you thought about leaving? Okay. And Dominique Wilkins answered the question. He said his last year was in 1999, which was in Orlando. Okay. He said, because Dominique Wilkins had began the 99 season as a starter. Okay. And he was leading the league in, I think, what they call points per minute. Right. So he was leading the league in that. Then all of a sudden, Chuck Daly came to him, who was the coach of Orlando for 2 short years before retiring for good. He came to Dominique Wilkins and said, I think I'm going to start this rookie, Matt Harper, because we need more scoring. And Dominique Wilkins said, what? But Chuck, I'm leading the league in points per minute. Then Dominique Wilkins, as he was telling the story, he said, Chuck, I've been in the league a long time, okay? If you want to start the young guy, I have no problem with it. But don't try to, dance around it or whatnot. And so Dominique Wilkins said it was around that time where Dominique Wilkins said it was around that time the game started to change for him. It was more about pacifying, taking care of these young players more than it was winning. And Dominique Wilkins wanted no part of that. Okay. So that's what made Dominique Wilkins retire. He wanted no part of this. He wanted no part of the current road that the NBA was going down. Okay. He wanted no part of that. Just as Nick Saban really didn't want any part of this college coaching that's going on. You see all the legendary college coaches, they're pretty much gone. But yeah, I believe it was Jason Whitlock who said 9 players have scored at least 70. Have scored at least 70 points. I can't remember all the names he said, but Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid. Those are just a few of the names that I can remember. But before the NBA eliminated defense and the hand check, look down the history of the NBA. How many people really scored 70 points on up into this current era of NBA players? Okay. We all know Wilt Chamberlain scored 100. Okay. David Thompson scored 73 in the battle for the scoring title. We all know David Robinson pumped in 71 points on the final day of the regular season in 1994. Kobe did hit it, scoring 81 versus Raptors. Okay. Other than that, those are the only players in NBA history I can think of who have scored 70 plus. And there were very, very few. I mean, Michael Jordan came close, 69 against Cleveland in 1990. We've all seen 60-point games before, so I don't think it's really surprising, all that surprising when somebody scores 60 plus points, because several players have done it. Several players did it in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So scoring 60 plus points is really not, so it's really not all that has a pricing anymore. But to score 70, okay. But to score 70, especially in the NBA's heyday, that was a big deal. Because there was hand checking. You had people like Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, John Hot Rod Williams, Tree Rollins, who would knock you on your ass if you came into the lane. Okay. So to score 70 plus was a huge deal because it just wasn't easy to score in the NBA. In the NBA's heyday, you had to work very hard. Okay. You had to work very hard to score points. Just as Michael Jordan, okay? Jordan averaged 32 points versus the Pistons, okay? All time. His all-time scoring average versus the Pistons was nearly 32.8. But the Pistons said, just make him work for it, okay? So that was the idea, okay? If you were going to score 38 to 40 points, you were going to have to put up 40 shots to get 40 points. Okay. Now that today's players are nothing more than soft, entitled hoes, okay? Hand check is gone. Can't play defense no more. No resistance. You can just throw the ball into whoever it is and get hit a bucket. You got 10,000 guys averaging 20 plus points. Okay. So oh yeah. So let me just close by saying this. Okay. You remember when, because I was a big rap fan. I was a big hit rap fan. Don't listen to rap music no more. But there was a song that I still like to this day. Rap song that I still like to this day. And it was by Eric Sermon. And the song was called Stay Real. Okay. As a matter of fact, the NBA did, Kenny Anderson had a music video featuring Eric Sermon's hit, Stay Real. Okay. Okay. So, oh, I lost my train. I thought, dang it. I forgot what I was going to say. Hey, next. Anyway, yeah, so Eric Sermon had a song called Stay Real, okay? So, and basically the song says, hey, don't act fake. Be yourself. Stay real, okay? Stay real. And I remember reading somewhere where Eric Sermon said he doesn't even recognize hip hop today. Eric Sermon doesn't even recognize rap music in this generation. So just as Eric Sermon doesn't recognize rap music, what it is today, there are you, the audience, who doesn't recognize what the NBA is today. Okay? But, yeah. Luka Donic, just the latest example of spoiled, rich, entitled hoes who are somehow called NBA players. Okay? And I don't know what the deal is for her coaches, but y'all remember Frank Layden, right? Frank Layden, the legendary Utah Jazz head coach. Okay. Frank Layden once said, one of the best ways you can one of the best ways to handle a fan who is rough on you is to diffuse them. That was Frank Layden's strategy, because people got on to Frank Layden often because of how fat he was. Okay, and so Frank Layden said, just diffuse the fan. That's all you got to do. Just diffuse the fan. And I want to show you this clip of Frank Layden. Hang on.
Striking similarity in style.
To me, that's colorful.
Okay. Frank Layden and Doug Moe are talking about each other being colorful and funny. And so there is a clip of where the Utah Jazz are facing the New Jersey Nets in the Meadowlands, and the fan is being rough on Frank Layden. And Frank Layden's response is pretty funny. Carl Malone is also talking about Frank Layden because he played for Frank Layden. But check it out.
Doug Moe is very colorful.
When you mention Frank Layden, it's funny. I mean, the guy's a funny guy. He's one of the funniest guys you could ever want to meet. The things he does on the court are funny. Not only do I have experience with him funny, people come back and tell me they sit behind the bench. Oh, it's great sitting behind Frank. We had a good time with him tonight.
Did you pay for that seat? All right, keep talking then. I just don't like to hear from the freebies.
I feel that the best thing to do with a fan who's really tough on you is probably to diffuse him.
I was a rookie, and this guy was behind the bench, giving him a lot of trouble, calling him fat, whatever. And was he hungry? And Frank said, sure, I'm hungry. So the guy said, you want me to get you a hot dog and a Coke? Frank said, yeah.
So a few minutes later, he came down with a hot dog and a beer, and I enjoyed it on the bench. I got a little worried about having a beer. I didn't know whether that was against the rules or not. But I had it, and it was fun.
He's just one of those guys that makes people laugh, and, you can't beat that.
In other words, you're taking possession away from us? Yes.
Both of these men have added a special character to the game, and there is certainly nothing wrong with that. But don't tell Frank I said that.
So that's where we were back in the late 80s, early 90s. Okay. As far as fans being rough on coaches and fans being rough on players. Okay. That's where we were in the 80s, 90s, early part of the new millennium. We've gone from that to Luka Donic telling people, hey, I don't like what he said about me. He said I should get on the treadmill. That hurt my feelings. Get him out of here. We've gone from that to that. NBA players. Soft, entitled, pampered assholes. That's just what they are. That's just what they are. Okay? Alright. So, the same logic applies to NFL players as well. I'm going to give you this one more example, then I'm done. Okay? For real, I'm done. Okay? So, the Patriots were playing the Lions in 1993. And they're playing in New England. And Ray Crockett, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, in the league at that time, he was on the field stretching. And there was this overweight Patriots fan who was giving it to Ray Crockett, and he was listening and smiling the whole time. The Patriots fan was like, "Hey Ray, you suck. You were absolutely no good. You stink. You ever eat a lion? It tastes just like chicken. It tastes just like chicken." And Ray Crockett just fell out laughing while he was stretching. Ray Crockett just fell out laughing while he was stretching, okay? That's what fans do. That's what fans do. Come on, man. But I'm done ranting. God bless you all. Thank you for watching Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. Peace out. God bless.